Okay, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving deep into two totally legendary ways of shaping sound. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the artist, all vintage warmth and beautiful color. And on the other, you've got the surgeon, delivering clean, modern, absolute precision. This is the great showdown in the world of audio compression.
It's the question we all ask ourselves, isn't it? You throw on your favorite album, and there's just this glue holding it all together, a kind of power and consistency that just makes everything sound incredible. Well, it's not magic, but it is a very specific and very cool technique. I want you to imagine someone with lightning-fast reflexes, literally riding the volume fader. The second a sound gets too loud, they turn it down. The second it gets too quiet, they bring it up. All in real time. That's really the core idea here. It is the secret weapon for creating that professional polish and impact we all crave.
So what is this tool we're talking about? Let's break it down and get a really clear, simple definition on the table. Right. So in plain English, it just kind of squashes the sound a little bit. It tames those loud peaks so they don't smack you in the face. And because those peaks are under control, you can then bring up the overall level of the whole track. Suddenly, all those quiet, subtle, beautiful parts become perfectly audible. It makes everything feel tighter, more energetic, and way more cohesive.
Okay, but here's where things get really, really interesting. Not all compressors do this job the same way. In fact, there are two major philosophies, two completely different families of compressors that have shaped the sound of music for more than half a century.
And this, right here, this is the crucial choice you have to make. Are you looking to add a sonic fingerprint to your sound? A little bit of that vintage mojo. That's the artist, the FET compressor. Or do you need to control your dynamics with absolute surgical precision without changing the tone at all? Well, for that, you call in the surgeon, the VCA.
So let's start with the artist's way of doing things. This is the story of a technology that became famous not just for what it did, but for the personality it had.
It all kicks off back in 1967 with the iconic UREI 1176. I mean, this box, it changed everything. It was super fast, it was aggressive, and boy, did it have a sound. That 1176 sound is absolutely slathered all over classic rock and pop records. And its DNA is still so sought after that you can now find it in these amazing little guitar pedals.
So what's the secret sauce? How does it create that magic? Well, at its heart is a field effect transistor, or FET. Its design is based on feedback, which means it reacts to the music itself. It literally breathes and moves with the performance. And here's the kicker. It adds these really pleasing even-order harmonics. Now that's not bad distortion, that's the good stuff. It's the very source of that famous warmth and richness.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. You see, engineers didn't just grab an 1176 to control volume. They grabbed it for what it added to the sound. It was an artistic choice, a paintbrush just as much as a technical tool.
All right, now let's walk down that other path. If the FET is our free-spirited artist, the VCA is the methodical surgeon, born from a need for clean, transparent, no-nonsense control.
So just a few years after the FET made its big debut, David Blackmer and DBX introduced VCA technology. This gave us absolute icons like the SSL Bus Compressor. I mean, that's the glue on thousands of 80s and 90s hits, and the super punchy DBX 160. And the goal here was totally different. It wasn't about adding color, it was all about control.
A VCA, or voltage-controlled amplifier, is all about being predictable. Its feed-forward design means it reacts the exact same way every single time. And check this out. Its balanced architecture is specifically designed to cancel out those even-order harmonics we were just talking about. So the result? Pure, transparent dynamic control. What you put in is what you get out. Just, tighter.
And what's so cool is that today, we see these two worlds collide all the time in modern tools. A plugin like this one shows you exactly how VCA and FET are treated like different flavors. You're not just picking a compressor, you're choosing a whole philosophy with the simple flip of a switch.
So we've got the artist on one hand and the surgeon on the other. But how does that actually translate to the sound you hear? Well, it really all comes down to one absolutely critical thing: speed.
Okay, now this is fascinating. Just look at the attack time. That's how fast the compressor reacts to a sound. The FET-based 1176 works in microseconds. That is insanely fast, almost instantaneous. The VCA-based SSL, it starts at 0.1 milliseconds. Now that's still really fast, but it's a whole different ballpark. And believe it or not, that tiny little difference in timing is, well, it's everything. So here's what that actually means for your music. An ultra-fast FET attack grabs the very first millisecond of a note, what we call the transient, and it rounds it off, making the entire sound feel thicker, denser, and creamier. But a slightly slower VCA attack, it's smart. It lets that initial crack of the sound, the snap of the snare drum, the pick hitting the guitar string, it lets that pop through before it starts compressing. And that's how you get punch and definition while still controlling the body of the sound. So what you can take away from all this is actually beautifully simple. Your creative goal tells you exactly what tool to reach for. Want that gooey, vintage, warm character? Go for a FET. Need clean, tight, precise control? A VCA is your friend. Want more punch? Just slow down that attack time a little. Want to create a cool rhythmic groove? Speed up the release time. That's how fast the compressor lets go, and you'll get this awesome, bouncy feel. It's all about your creative choice.
At the end of the day, this choice between the artist and the surgeon, between adding character or seeking precision, it's not about what's right or wrong. It's about intent. It's about knowing the sound you hear in your head and picking the right tool to make it happen. So, the question is, which path are you going to take? What sound will you create?